Hello and welcome. So what we're going to do today is look at what I did for the July papers. These are free papers I create and add to my course platform, which you can access. And this is what I did with the July papers. This is June papers, so we'll have just a quick flip through and I'll talk about that. And then I'll share with you August papers that are available for you to download. So let us have a look at the June papers I would have shared, and they're still available. Just sign up to the course platform and you can access them and then do what you will with them. For your personal use, obviously. So I normally create from my papers a mini journal, and it's a one-page journal, and then for this particular one I've used cardboard to strengthen the front and the back. And the middle bit is the main paper that you receive. And so what I've done with mine is gone through some of my paper ephemera and added to it. I've coloured in some of the elements. It's essentially a colouring in page, and then you can do whatever else you want to do. So I normally, as I say, create a mini art journal from these papers, and I've used elements that I've created. These are from my Patreon papers, which are also available, and these are some other kind of images that I've created online. And so for this, I haven't yet filled it with everything that I want. I've added some of the images that I want to use. I'm still going to add some journaling to the pages, and these are just little mini booklets that I can use to not only to inspire myself in my creative walk. So this has still got spaces for me to come in and complete the work, and what you'll see towards the end of the year is I'll do a flip through of all of them finished for the year, and then I can store them in my mini shelves that I've created. So that's June, and this is July. So for these papers for July, I used a A4 sheet, and I've stitched it down the middle, and then I've come in with my papers and then added them to the pages and used it as background pages. What I'd initially done was on each page of the digital download I had created images. I just did the outline of images, so for the tags I did an image on each one, and as I say, then I decided to add it to this journal. So again, I've used this as inspiration for myself, to encouragement, and they're ones that you can carry around with you and just look in it and think, okay, yeah, we want to turn our imagination and our dreams into our reality. We want to expand our knowledge and growth. So I've just gone through it. I've used some of it as a journaling spots, but essentially just added other words and phrases that can inspire and encourage. And then I've just doodled, I've added other elements that I've created. I'm going to put a word on here, but again, just used encouraging words to remind me of the journey that I'm on. And I've still made use of the images that I had initially created, wanting to create faces, but then used, you know, images and again, some digitally created faces as well. And I've still got space to add the journal in. It can be, you know, you can use different colours, you can mute some of the pages by using either white paint or gesso, and then you can write on it. So I like the way, the feel that this one has, and as I say, I'm still going to add additional bits just to kind of bring it all together and finish it as I want, but I've got the basic elements that I want on this page, and I'm just going to take my time and add the journal in where I feel I want it to be added, or look at some of the spaces and think, well, do I want to colour this in? What do I want to do with this? Okay, so now what we're going to do is look at the papers for August. So I'll leave the link in the description. So here are the pages for August, and you can generally do, you know, you can print them out as many times as you want. You can use them as colouring pages, and I've tried to add some of the images on the first page. On the second page, these are tags, and then this is the large area that you can use as, you know, like a full colouring page, and as you're kind of going through your month, kind of just do bits and pieces. Or what I like to do is to create a journal and then work through it, so I've then got my space. So what we're going to do first is cut out the elements. So this bit is a double tag attached together. You can either keep it like that or have it as a single tag, two single tags, and this one, part of the image would be hidden. So you can, as I've done in here, I've just used them separately, and you wouldn't know that this is only half a tag. So let's finish cutting them out. Okay, so we've got the tags, smaller tags, we've got the sheet and the front cover there, the front bit. I always cut out the words, because then you could use the letters in your journal, and these bits are what was on the front cover. So I'm going to make, for this month, I'm going to make the journal and use these as background papers, and I'm going to use, I'm going to attach them to card. Now you can actually print these out on card if you want, or just use them as a background. So I'm just going to make a just a mini journal very similar to this. So now's an opportunity for you to use up any card or paper. If you're recycling paper, you can use that as well. Right, so I'm going to recycle this brochure. It's A4 or A3 if you open it out like that. So I'm going to make just a one-page journal, and it will bring it to this size. Okay, so let's get started. So these are, it's very easy to, all you need, so it's very easy to create one of these journals, and all you have to do is fold it. So I'm going to fold it in half. If you've got a bone folder, use that. If not, just use whatever, you know, whether it's your scissors or your pencil. So we just fold it and just make sure it's nicely creased. Now, what you can do is cut down the middle, but what I like to do is still stitch it. So I'm going to cut it up. So I'm going to cut it in the middle. These mini journals are super easy to do. And as I say, you get to use up a lot of paper ephemera that you might have, and then we're just going to fold it over. And put it together like so. So we've got the start of our mini journal. So all I'm going to do is take some thread and I'm going to stitch along here. So I'm just going to clamp it here and then make some holes. So I do, say, just an inch from the top or less than an inch. Make a hole there, and I'll do the same thing at the bottom, directly in the middle, and then in between the ones that I've previously done. Like so, and then I'm going to stitch this up. Right, so sometimes, so if you haven't got any embroidery floss, you can use dental floss. It's just for your own mini books. So that's what I use. It's very strong, it's not going to break, and it's pre-waxed. So I'm just going to get a needle and thread this. So you can get waxed the thread that you can use for bookbinding as well. Let's use that as the front. Okay, so I'm just going to go in from the back and just go in and out of the holes and make my way down to the bottom. There are loads of ways available for stitching your books that you can do. Right, so I'm just going to go back and weave in and out. And I'll go in the top one, and I'm just going to do, because I've got a lot of floss, I'm just going to go back again and come back up. So we've done that twice, and that won't be going anywhere. It's going to be very strong. It'll be as strong as the paper it's attached to. Okay, so I'm just going to now tie the back off. Okay, so that is my mini book now ready to receive my papers. And I'm just going to go through and literally just add all of the papers that I have to the page, thinking about maybe you know, filling up a page. So this sheet could maybe go on the front page and then work through with the tags, unless you want to use the tags to, you know, create something specific, but you can print this off as many times as you require. So I'm just going to take my time and work with all the papers that I have. So even these scrap bits, I'll leave them till last, or what I can do is, especially where the tags are concerned, just, you know, fill up the page with them. I may want to use these as a focal point, but all we're going to do basically today is now cover our journals. And then right, so that's the first page. Now when I am adding colour, I usually use Pro Marker alcohol pens, and they usually bleed. If you're using them on paper, they usually bleed through. So that's why putting it on like this mini journal is a good idea, so it won't actually bleed through to the other side. So I'm going to continue working and come back. The other thing I'm going to do is use some other papers that I have. So it's also a useful time for you to use up some of your papers and literally just kind of add it as we're just covering the page. It's a nice therapeutic activity. These papers are going to be your main focal point, so you can add to the page and then add these either on top. You might want to cut out some of the shapes, or you might just want to, you know, rip it and then use it like that. So start to fill up your page with some of your papers and these papers as well. Okay, so I've got a little paper pack of papers, some of which I might use. So I'm just going to work my way through. If it's thin enough, I'll use it. If not, I'll move on. And like, not all of this is going to be suitable. Some of it is card that I've got here. But I just want paper elements to begin with, so that I can add to the page. we're going to look at what we've done so far. And for the next time, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to cover the paper before I cut it up. It's nice to be able to do individual papers, but sometimes you just want to lay down like a background and then start working on it. So next time what I'll do is take some of the background papers that I have and add it to the full sheet. So just like we've got here, I would just take an this is A3, and I'm going to, I'll make the same size journal, but I'll cover the whole paper first with my background papers of choice and my digital downloads. I can then arrange them in a way that it fits on each individual page. I'm just finding this way. I haven't kind of added to a little journal like this for a very long time, and I'm just like, this is so messy. I mean, it doesn't have to be so messy, but I'm just finding the way that it's presenting itself for me. It's just like, oh my gosh. It's been a while since I've I mean, well, no, not really. I mean, I guess with this, yeah, I mean, I didn't fiddle around with as much paper. I mean, there are elements of little bits of paper that I've used, but this one was more enjoyable than this one is at the moment. So I'm going to continue and get to the end. I've got, how many papers have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 more to do. And yeah, we'll come back. Okay, so here we have so far the finished bit. I've got to let it dry. So I've added just background paper that I had, and then the digital download, I've interspersed it in throughout the journal. And the focus is these pieces, not the pieces that I've added. They're just to, they're going to be muted with probably paint, or maybe some additional kind of markings. So there's just elements of them printed throughout, and these will be colouring in spots, or I may choose to do an image, or I may choose to make it a spot that I can do a bit of journaling on. I've also used pages from magazines, so I've got some art magazines and I've just cut them up and used them. So again, these will, once this is all dry and I've added paint, you will just see faint, say like this one's got writing on, you'll just see some of the faint image. You won't actually, it's not about this, it's just about, it's not about the images that other people have done, it's about muting it and using it as a background and recreating the entire page. So again, these pages could be, I could decide to create a whole face on here, and that's something I enjoy doing, so this could very well be that journal, similar to July's. So I had originally planned to create faces on here, and so have kept the images that I had drawn to use. This was a whole face, part of the shoulder. We've got the other side of the face. So I've just still incorporated them there. So that's it for this month's digital downloads. So definitely go, download the pages. If you go on my course platform, you'll have access to all of the other pages for this year, and you can use them, and I'd love to see what you do. And as I say, I'm going to be working on this throughout the month, adding to the page, and it's now a nice kind of weight, and I've used up scrap paper. So I've used up scrap paper, and now I can focus on adding to this journal. So I hope you found that useful. Please do go and download and play about with some of the papers and see how you get on. And I look forward to catching you next time.